Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
This is the Aside podcast. Welcome. I'm Caleb,
I'm Caroline.
and we are your hosts, actually, technically, if you want to look at it that way. um, yeah, this was a little pipe dream of ours. We wanted to read more plays, and we know that there's not really a lot of resources to find new plays. So we were like, there are people who want to read more plays that are just posting on Reddit, recommend me plays, or they're looking on Monologue Blogger or whatever to find new plays and everything. And we were like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do this one for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were thinking about the people.
We're always thinking about the people. But yeah, this is Aside.
Yeah, we just made it so we could, I guess, reach more, young adults, or just reach a wider audience about plays they may not have read before.
Mm-hmm.
And we also just wanted to make plays more digestible for young audiences or young adults.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we also wanted to talk about like plays from the perspective of like other things. Like there's so many reasons why you would read a play or go see a play.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like a writer looking for inspiration. You could be an actor looking for a monologue or a scene to perform, or you could be a director looking for the next big project to work on. And fortunately for you guys, we're all three of those. So on top of being students, we're also actors and writers and directors. So we look at it from all three lenses, which is absolutely, I don't know, I think that's pretty great. I think that's pretty cool. And we're also just friends, so we can just talk about plays together. Like we would do this anyway.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. We're having some technical. Okay. We might have to take a pause here. Hold on.
Hold on, I was choking on my own spit. I'm so sorry. That wasn't meant to happen. Yeah. So.
Do we need?
No, I think
Do
we're
you
good.
need a break?
Keep the struggle. Keep the struggle.
Okay. I guess, do you just want to introduce yourself a bit more, and then we'll go into what we're talking about today?
Yeah, I mean, my name's Caleb. I have been acting since I was 6 years old. I've been writing since I was about 12, and I've been directing for about 3 years now, I think. And I love all of it. I fell in love with theater at a very young age, acting especially. And yeah, I just love creating art and seeing other people's art and reading people's art. I think that's also amazing. Yeah, and I love bears.
Yes, he does,
Yes,
guys. It's
I love
actually
bears.
that was my first impression of him when I first
Yeah.
we didn't even meet in person, but we had a group chat. And
Well, it kind of helps that I look like a bear a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I have a bear tattoo, and I have a necklace with a bear, a little claw on it. And if you see me, you'll definitely see that.
Anyway, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm Caroline. I've been going to the theater since I was like very young, but I didn't really start acting until I was like 12 or 13, when I really started training. And then yeah, I've just always loved going to the theater. I loved movies. I loved watching plays, and I love to read. So when I was reading plays was like no different for me than reading a regular book. And I think yeah, I just really like reading. Did we mention we're both BFAs or no?
Oh, no, we didn't.
Oh, we're both BFAs.
We're both BFAs, yes.
So, yeah. And then a fun fact about me. My favorite color is blue. Hope you enjoy.
That's such a fun fact.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are we doing today, Caroline?
Today, we're going to talk about the play I and You.
Yes, we are.
By Lauren Gunderson.
By Lauren Gunderson.
Yeah.
Who I love.
Yeah.
I love her work.
Yeah.
She's so absolutely amazing. A little bit, should we just...
Yeah. Do you want to go or I can go?
We can go back and forth.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's fine. If that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Lauren Gunderson is a playwright, screenwriter, and short story author from Atlanta, Georgia. She got her BA in English creative writing at Emory University and her MFA at dramatic writing at NYU Tisch. So very studied, very well versed she is.
Yeah, and she's been one of the most produced playwrights in America since 2015, and she's been on the list like 3 times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, from On American Theater Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She has had her plays produced all over. She's a Shakespeare lover. A lot of her plays are actually kind of around Shakespeare a little bit, like The Book of Will, The Taming. Toil and Trouble, just to name a few. She's also known for her other works, Exit Pursued by Bear, Revolutionary Women, and a musical that was on the West End called The Time Traveler's Wife, based off the book. Very, very cool stuff. And she's also a very active Instagram story poster.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
She has a few other plays, Ada and the Engine, Artemisia, I think, Bower, The Catastrophist, Earthrise. She has so many plays. It's not even that. She also has so many 10-minute plays, too, if you go on her website. There's just so many.
Yeah, and all of her plays are so great, and she talks about writing plays and her discovery through plays on her podcast.
Yes.
I think it's called How to Playwright.
Yeah.
And it's very, very informative, especially if you're a writer. It's really, really cool to listen to because she's so established and she won so many awards. She also wrote The Half-Life of Mary Curie, which was on Off-Broadway, and it's also available on Audible if you want to listen to that. And yeah, she's written a lot. And there's one play that you'll notice if you know anything about her that we haven't spoken about yet, and that is I and You.
So true.
So true, which is what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah. I'll read the synopsis for us so we are all aware of what it's about. So, one afternoon, Anthony arrives unexpectedly at classmate Caroline's door bearing a beat-up copy of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, an urgent assignment from their English teacher. Homebound due to illness, Caroline hasn't been to school in months, but she is as quick and sardonic as Anthony is athletic, sensitive, and popular. As these two let down their guard and share their secrets, this seemingly mundane poetry project unlocks a much deeper mystery that has brought them together. I and You is an ode to youth, life, love, and the strange beauty of human connectedness.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. Reading it and everything, it was a lot. So, the reason why we decided this play would be our first episode is because the two of us, we both connected with this play. This was like the first play that the two of us had connected over. I did a section of this play for International Thespian Society, like those, like the regional and then the statewide and then the international. I did a duet scene with my friend at the time in my senior year of high school, and I read the play and I was like, holy moly, I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more, but that's my experience with the play.
Yeah. And so I actually got introduced to this play by my acting coach at the time because I was preparing for like pre-screens and stuff, and we were just finding different monologues, and she suggested this play to me. And yeah, that's how I just fell in love with the play. It was a lot more contemporary and I think newer to me at the time than the other stuff that I was reading or that she was giving me. And so I just really fell in love with the play. And also, we have the same name. So, like, hey.
Hey.
You know.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. And that's like one of the first plays we ever connected over because we both read it. And I don't think anybody else in our class did.
I hadn't like met anyone. Like I would talk about I and You, and I was like, this play's so good. And everyone's, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
You know? And then I was talking about it, and then you chimed in, and that's how we found our friendship with each other.
Yeah.
Which was super great. So Lauren Gunderson, bringing friends together since 2023.
Yep.
Yes, quite. But yeah, totally should read this play. But we're going to talk about it. So if you'll bear with us and listen to this. I think we should talk about the preface, the author's note.
Yes.
Yeah. Lauren left us a beautiful author's note towards the beginning of the play. I'm trying to pull it up here. Give me 1 second. Oh, awesome. All right. It's not pulling up for me.
Here, is it wait, hang on. Oh, okay, I have it up, so I'll read it. And she starts it with, "And your very flesh shall be a great poem. Walt Whitman, Song of Myself."
Which, like, yeah.
Yeah, it already sets, like, you already have an idea of what you're going into.
It sets the tone. The whole thing's kind of, I mean, interspersed throughout the show is just Walt Whitman quotes.
Yeah.
So I think it's really smart to start with that.
I mean, I feel like Walt Whitman is a character in the play.
It feels like he's a character in the play.
It's like he's there with you.
Yeah, he's hanging out.
And it already sets the tone for what you're going to expect for the play. So we'll say this all the time, but Always read everything.
Always read everything. If you find a monologue from this play that you really enjoy, read the whole play. If you like the scene, read the whole play.
Like, and that includes character lists, author's notes, end note, anything that gives you any sort of idea of what you're going into is really important. Like, everything written in this play is intentional, and that's basically how every play ever written should be written and is written like.
Yeah. And the character list.
Yeah. Do you want me? I can read it out.
I mean, we can introduce the characters. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can go first.
Yeah. Okay. So starting off, the first character that we actually meet is Anthony. Well, I guess we don't meet, but the first character that speaks, his name is Anthony. He's a 17-year-old boy. He is neat, poised, mature for his age, African American. He's an A student, a team player, a nice guy. He's not really great around girls. So true. He takes his homework very seriously. When he likes something, jazz music, he's all in. Throughout the whole play, he looks at Caroline like he's trying to figure her out. Like he really needs to know who she is.
Yep. And then the next character we have is Caroline. She's a girl, 17. She's in comfy clothing. She does not expect company. She is sick, but mainly just looks a little weak and frumpy. She doesn't go out. She is cynical, over it, does not let a stray feeling near the surface. And then she's white, which says it at the end.
Yeah. So actually included with the character list is a casting note.
Yeah.
That I think we should talk about a little bit. Yeah. It talks about the race of each character. It says, casting note, the race of each character can be altered. The only essentiality is that the characters not be the same race. Which is a really interesting way of doing things. It's kind of putting diversity forward within a play.
Yeah.
And this play was published in 2013?
Yes, October.
Yeah, it was in October 2013. So, I mean, I don't want to say like ahead of its time, but usually when you think of like racial conscious casting, you think of like a lot more contemporary works.
Yeah.
So for this to be published in 2013, I'm not going to say it's ahead of its time because it probably wasn't, but it's still a really cool thing to pay attention to and everything. However, I think there can be a question discussed of whether the race is important to the character.
Yeah.
Just trying to be objective, not trying to criticize the writing whatsoever. Because if you include, because at least I didn't see anything within the play that like was very specific towards race, which will lead directors to kind of ignore this casting note.
Yeah, I agree. And especially, I think for me, if you're going to list a race within the character description, that means it's important to that character's identity. And I think throughout the play, I didn't really see anything to me personally that I think really resonated with his identity as an African-American boy. And
also just, but also like staying fair and like keeping true to form. She is not an African-American boy.
Yes.
So writing about that experience, she could have just felt uncomfortable about it.
I agree.
Because that's like a very specific experience that a lot of people experience. So good on her for not writing as if she was speaking through the African-American experience, but also at the same time, if you're writing a character to be race conscious, be conscious of that race.
Yeah.
Talking about the setting and everything, it says it takes place now in your city, which I think is really cool. I like it. I like it when there's not like a very specified city. It kind of gives the actors and the director more to work with.
I also feel like the story is universal, so I think it also fits into the fact that like the setting can be literally anywhere.
Yeah. She says she imagines Atlanta, Georgia, because that's where she's from. And it also takes place within Caroline's room, which she describes as a girl's room, but not girly. It says lots of tech. This is the room of someone with a serious illness, but she tries to limit the look of her sickness. There is no IV or hospital bed. There's a small tray table with her meds and medical alarm. So before we even read the play, we know so much about Caroline. You can, like, right off the bat from the character description, like it tells us a lot about her. And then just from her room alone, like where she stays all the time, something that's a part of her. That's something that's very telling, and I really appreciate that being put into the setting and everything.
Yeah. do we want to go over the production notes? And like, there's a few other notes. She's very thorough.
She's very
Lauren
thorough,
Gunderson
which is very, very helpful for a director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says Walt Whitman's 1881 edition of Songs of Myself is italicized or in quotes throughout the script to denote direct quotation. Hyphens denote cutoffs. Ellipses denote uncertainty. Stair-step line progression denotes speedy line pickups.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just also talks about for high school productions, you can replace curse words with an alternative.
Yeah.
So.
Which is good to put that in because usually like you would have to reach out to the playwright and be like, hey, I'm putting this on for our high school. I don't know if we can say this word.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, great. And also like the grammar note with the different types of the writing, like she has the normal, the elevated, the intensified, the really intense, and the most intense.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really cool.
I know. I really enjoyed her writing style, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it says a character's emotional and vocal emphasis should attempt to build the progression from normal to intense, suggested by the following punctuation and fonts, which we just talked about.
And it's like she writes it for a purpose, which is really important because it's so easy to just like put italices in like the middle of a sentence and be like, oh yeah, that word's stressed. But like if you don't really put that down in the beginning, like from the get-go, you're kind of just,
Yeah. And then it just also talks about the music notes, which is important to a director.
Mm-hmm.
But any music selections that fall outside of the public domain may require permission to perform. The rights to these songs are not included in the performance license for this play and are the responsibility of each individual production. So that's really a director's note.
Yeah. She also includes a Tumblr link in the script, which I think is awesome. IandYouPlay.tumblr.com.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Come on, Lauren.
Also, Lauren Gunderson has her own website. If you're interested in more of her work, laurengunderson.com.
Yep.
That's where we got all of our information about her. Absolutely amazing. You should definitely check her out and follow her on Instagram because I love looking at her Instagram stories because she posts some, she does so much on her Instagram story.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to see.
Mm-hmm. Do we just want to?
Yeah, let's dive in. Why not? Why shouldn't we? Yeah.
Oh, okay, me?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the second time I've ever read the play. And so, again, my experience reading it is so much different from the first time I've read it. Because I'm just like, I don't remember a lot of what happened. So it's like I'm experiencing it for the first time again. And I was just like, it just made me fall in love with the play all over again.
Yeah.
I think. Like, Caroline is just such a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so clear from the very first, she's so witty and her banter is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I just like how, I don't know, they just bounce off each other when Anthony first enters the scene because Anthony is the one who speaks first. And mind you, he enters the room with a Walt Whitman quote.
A Walt Whitman quote.
Like, what an entrance.
Who does that?
I know. What teenage boy would enter your room with a Walt Whitman quote saying, I and you, here we stand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what?
It's like something mystery, here we stand. Yeah.
Yeah, I and you, here we stand. I was like, what is it? He said, I and this mystery.
Yeah, I and this mystery.
And then immediately it's already chaotic, which I think is
that's great.
reflective, of teenagers. They're just like, something happens to them and they're just like, they're so big with their emotions. Sorry, I just hit the table. But yeah, I don't know. I just love this play a lot.
Yeah, there's this, when I was rereading it, I actually, I texted my high school friend that I hadn't spoken to in a long time. I think since I got here freshman year. I hadn't texted her in so long, and I reached out to her. I was like, hey, I was reading I and You. Like, you should definitely reread it. It's so good. Hope you're doing well. And she responded.
Oh, really?
That's
awesome.
I was like, oh, awesome. But, there's this thing that I love, making the audience fall in love with the characters through comedic dialogue.
Yeah.
And then breaking their hearts later down the line, which we will talk about a little more. But, even in, a dramatic play, you can't make the characters just, dramatic right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because we don't really get a sense of, their flaws or who they are. And humans, we typically, we respond better to flaws, I think, when especially on stage. If you think of your favorite character in anything, you probably think of what makes them human as opposed to what makes them a perfectly written character. So them devolving right into chaos, I think, is so funny and so perfect.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many funny moments. Scene 1 is a really long scene,
guys. It's really long, guys.
It's really long, so we're going to talk about it a lot. But, their first meeting is just so it's just, I think for me, perfect for these
Mhm.
two characters to like meet like this.
Yeah.
And can't,
Also, scene 1, 2, and 3, it's 100 pages.
yeah, there's only 3 scenes in this play, guys.
Yeah, and it said it's a one act. It doesn't need to be a one act.
I don't
It's
think
100 pages.
Yeah, after scene 1, I'd do intermission.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah.
But already Caroline is on like the defensive. Like she's like her hackles are raised because there's this boy in her room, and it's already so clear, like everything. And then like Anthony explains why he's there, which they have an English project that's due. She doesn't know this yet, but it's due tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And
Typical
he's-
teenage boy.
Yeah, and he decided to come the day before it's due to come get this project done and convince her that Walt Whitman is this cool guy.
Yeah.
And
I mean, by the end of the play, I think Walt Whitman's a cool guy.
I think he's pretty cool. But yeah, and then he obviously is not artistic or anything. He shows up with that trifold poster,
Mhm.
and there's a picture of Walt Whitman on it, and apparently it's really bad. And Caroline says this line that is so funny to me. What does she say? She says, "Oh wait, this isn't me helping. This is triage."
Yeah.
I was like, "Dang, like get him."
She also starts calling him poster boy.
Yes, but like again, like with the whole hackles raised, just like she's just, and then Anthony's like, "Wow, you are impossible." I'm like, "Yeah, it's on purpose."
Yeah.
Because immediately when she meets people, or like, I feel like people ever since she got sick, or like, because she's been sick for so long, all people see is her sickness.
She's a sick girl.
But you can clearly see she's not trying to let that define her. And it's, I mean, already so clear after reading through the character notes, the product, like all of that.
Yeah.
Like you expect this sick girl, but she's not.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not letting that define her. And I think that was really amazing. And her response to Anthony's, "Wow, you are impossible," or like she says, "It makes a shitty life more fun."
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so true for her because she's like, she's just trying to make light of her situation. That's obviously really hard.
Yeah.
And there was another thing too. What she said, "I'm strong, like, or fierce like a dachshund."
Yeah. Small and mighty like a dachshund.
Yeah, small and mighty like a dachshund. I love that line.
Yeah.
She's just so cute to me. I love her.
She's awesome.
And then small dog rage, when Anthony was like, "You and your small dog rage."
Yeah. I like it. I like it when Anthony says, "You don't have to be nice to me, but please be nice to Walt Whitman."
Yeah, I forgot about that line. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so funny. But I think also, but the fact that like she makes light of her situation is just also a clear defense mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's obviously, like, I think as a teenage girl, when you're faced with death at such a young age, like
Yeah.
there's no way you're not scared of it.
Mm-mm.
But she's had to deal with this her whole life. So she's like, I'm not going to let people think this affects me.
Yeah. I mean, she talks like later in the play, like scene 3 in the play. I mean, she talks about, what was it? Because I've lived with it my whole life and I'm not going to be scared of it because I'm not going to let it get to me.
Yeah. And also, and then another thing too, when Anthony's trying to convince her of like Walt Whitman being cool, he'll be like, the barbaric yawp.
The barbaric yawp.
Actually, here, I'm
I'm
wrote
team
it down.
yawp.
Your team yawp.
Yeah.
But the line he reads to her to try and convince her, like, of, like, that Walt Whitman is cool, like, because Caroline is kind of weird. But it's a good weird.
Yeah.
But you can tell she's kind of weird, and that's fine. So,
and that's okay.
And so,
And that's fine.
And so Anthony is like trying to convince her, like, he's your type of weird. Like, listen. And this is where barbaric yawp comes in. He literally reads, "The spotted hawk swoops by and accuses me. He complains of my gab and my loitering. I too am not a bit tamed. I too am untranslatable. I sound my barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world." That's literally Caroline. I'm sorry.
That's literally Caroline.
She is the
yeah.
hawk swooping by and accusing Anthony of like coming into her space.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so clear. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all the Walt Whitman quotes that you read in this play are intentional.
Yeah, the parallelism through
yeah.
like Walt Whitman and it's great.
And I also think this is a play that you need to read twice to like fully understand.
Yeah.
You know? Like, you can read it the first time and be like, wow, that was great. But if you really want to understand the purpose of each of those quotes, you need to go back and read it
twice or watch it twice.
Watching it twice would be good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a lot of great banter in the beginning, and they're just trying to get to know one another. And Caroline obviously does not want to get to know him, but he obviously isn't leaving, even though she tries to kick him out.
Yeah.
And yeah,
repeatedly.
They go into a lot this first scene because it's so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down a lot of quotes. With Verve.
With Verve, yeah.
With Verve was really funny.
Yeah.
Caroline, also another thing that I think makes her such a teenager is when she brushes off her compliments. Like, she can't accept that she's done good work.
Yeah.
Or that she's a good person.
Yeah.
Which I think is really, I don't know, resonated with me because I did the same thing and I still do the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I haven't really let go of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a few other quotes that I really liked from her where she said, "I'm not delicate. When everybody's nice, nice is fake."
Yeah.
Because I think that one's kind of heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously all her other friendships, like, they're just being fake nice to her because
Yeah.
they don't know how to deal with her being sick.
Or even, like, they might not be fake nice. They might be, like, genuine nice, but she doesn't know how to, like, properly, like, process that because in her mind, she's sick and she's in her bed and no one wants to hang out. No one, like, makes effort to hang out with her.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, also the waffle fries too.
The waffle.
He's so funny.
You give me some of your
He's
waffle
like,
fries.
I have fries.
Mm-hmm.
And then the turtle. I love turtle.
I love turtle.
Yeah. I feel are we all over the place?
No,
okay.
I feel like we're right on track. We're just talking
Sorry.
about Caroline.
Yeah. And then what's another thing? Yeah, she's already like stated to him. She's like, "I'm fine with dying," which I think is also to scare him off.
Yeah.
Like, she's constantly in the scene trying to scare him off, and like, what is it? And then Anthony is constantly trying to prove her wrong, or like subvert her expectations of what she thinks he is actually like, which I think is why that dynamic works so much. And like, when you think about acting, I guess you like have to think of reasons of like, why is this character still talking to this character?
Yeah.
Like, why are they still in the room? Like, either of them could just leave, but both of them still find reasons to be there in the room.
Yeah. And he never leaves.
Yeah. And I think it's really clear. Like, they both have reasons for why they're still staying there. Like, even though she doesn't want him here, she kind of does.
Yeah.
Like, she's intrigued by him. And, like, he keeps giving her reasons to, like, want him to stay. And I think that's also really clear when I was reading that.
Also, her mom giving Anthony cookies.
Oh, yeah.
When he came in, and she was like, "Who are you?" And then he's like, "Your mom let me in."
Your mom let me in. Like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Because a mom would do that.
A mom would do that.
Especially when she explains it's for school. She's like, "Oh,
yes, come in.
Come in.
You want the cookie?
Yeah, you want a cookie? Like, bring this up to Caroline."
Yeah. I like how she embraces her weirdness.
Yeah.
Certainly in North America.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, she really, really just embraces her weirdness. Like, she doesn't, like, I think what you were saying, she is trying to scare Anthony off a lot.
Yeah.
She's like trying to be like, "I'm this weird freak and you don't want to be around me," because nobody wants to be around a weird freak.
Yeah, who's sick?
I'm sick. And she's very, I don't want to say blunt, but she's very like, I don't really know how to say.
She's not afraid of him.
She's not afraid of him, and she's not afraid of herself either.
Yeah.
You know, so she doesn't care what he thinks of him. He thinks of her. Oops. She doesn't care what he thinks of her. He cares what she thinks of herself a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, that comes with time.
Yeah. What is it also? Also, it's so like, you can when you're reading this, you can also, like, the dialogue is so clear that they're teenagers, like, especially when the words are put together where Anthony's like, "Oh my God, girls are awful."
Or like, "Yeah, it is."
Or where they end their sentence with "so."
So, yeah, just because we do that. Oh, I'm not a teenager. I am.
No,
I'm in my 20s. Yeah, the ending, like, Caroline ends like this huge, great monologue with, so, because, like, I don't know, I do that. Our generation does that a lot.
Yeah.
Younger people definitely do that a lot. But she gives a reason for the monologue. Often as actors, it's like what you were talking about, like, finding a reason to, like, keep doing something. Or like to actively do something that's so important as an actor, and she kind of just gives that to you. In one of Caroline's monologues, I can't remember.
I actually did this monologue. This is the monologue I did for my coach.
Yeah.
So
talk about it.
It's on page 27 for me, but it starts with, "So, this is my room. This is my phone. I've been sick pretty much ever since I was born. That's me. Yup." And then it keeps going into this whole monologue where she talks about being sick. And then she ends it with, so. She's like, so. And then Anthony's like, so. And she's like, you wanted to know. And he said, I did. And she was like, now you know. And then there's like a pause. And then it says, Anthony's like, yeah, I still don't know still don't know really anything about you. And in the stage directions, it says, Caroline smiles, well done, new friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Love that monologue because Lauren's telling you what Caroline is doing to him, which you, as an actor, you don't get a lot in other plays. Like, the monologue is to test him, to see if he really wants to know who she is and not, because again, a lot of people, when they look at Caroline, they perceive her sickness. They just see her as a sick girl, but she's not just a sick girl. Yeah, that's an asset of her life, but she's not her sickness. And that was really clear. Like when Anthony was like, yeah, I still don't know anything about you.
I don't know anything
and
about
Caroline was like, okay, like I'm starting to like this guy now.
All
like,
right.
you know, he's not like the others. Like he actually wants to know who I am. And then that's when she tells him about herself.
Yeah. I was thinking of a different monologue.
Oh.
But I really like how you're talking about that. That's
right.
Really great.
So we're not on the same wavelength
so
right now,
we're
guys.
not on the same wavelength, but she does do the same thing. I'm thinking of the one, it's like they tried a ton of stuff. So it starts with like, oh, it is the same thing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Guys,
I read that sorry.
You hear that? Caleb was wrong and I was right. Okay.
Caleb's usually wrong and Caroline's usually right.
That's
but
correct.
like the pause, Anthony wants more info. And the fact that like Lauren puts it in, it either means that like she can see it and like is like giving more information, like it's kind of like spilling out of her, because oftentimes in monologues we're just like the character's kind of given a monologue, but we're taught that like if a character doesn't get what he wants in the first sentence, he will continue throughout the next sentence and then the next one and the next one. So it's all for one thing. And yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool how she like gives purposes for the monologues within the writing of the play.
A cool thing about the stage directions too, or like part of the writing in this play, is like you feel Lauren is with you.
Yeah, it's like she's like a character in the play.
Like she's with you throughout like the entire journey. Like she's, and she also doesn't do it in a way that she feels separated. Like she's with you the whole time. There's like a few other places in the play where you'll see that like she feels like that she's just with you in the play. Like she's going on this journey with you.
Yeah.
Like that. And that was really clear in this one where it's like Caroline smiles, well done, new friend.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't know. That made me feel really seen, I guess. Because it's just like, I'm not just like this reader. I'm like experiencing this play with other people who are not in the room with me.
Yeah. And like, she kind of puts the answer in the writing, the question that we're all wondering, towards the end of scene 1. This is the beginning of their love story.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I was like, oh, like, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Like I'm reading and I'm like, okay. And she didn't have to put it in, but she's also just as excited about it.
Yeah. And what's so interesting to me too is like how she ended the scene with a Walt Whitman quote again. Yeah. Where Anthony says, I celebrate myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. Like, and remember the ellipses mean uncertainty. So he's uncertain about saying it, but he says it anyway. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
That's so interesting. I think, I love her writing style. Just like, oh my gosh, like the, what am I thinking of? The ability, like I talked about it, but the ability to write two characters in one room. Also, it's a one room, by the way, which means it just takes place in the same room throughout the entire show. To write two characters in one room and have them not run out of things to talk about the entire play. Yeah. Always having new things. It's this play. I think if you are a playwright and you are struggling with naturalistic dialogue, read this play and steal some things. Not dialogue outright, but steal some like writing ideas or writing styles from Lauren, because there are so many there's so many great things in here. They never run out of anything to talk about. I literally just said that, but they truly don't.
I mean, like there's always a reason for them being in the room.
Yeah, and like when we talk about plays versus screenplays, right? Yeah. We talk about plays like plays are dialogue. Plays are what is being said, whereas like a screenplay or something is like what is being done and everything.
Yeah, or what is being shown.
What is being shown, yeah. And this is like truly a masterclass on playwriting, because you're sitting there
and subtext, honestly.
I wrote about that. I wrote about subtext. Oh my gosh, she is so good at like leaving room for subtext for the act. If you go to see this show, it will never be the same.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible for it to be the same. Yeah, I really, really also again talking on the stage directions a bunch. Clothes plus girls equals feelings.
Oh yeah. Girls in clothes equal titillating.
Yeah, when she puts down a la shut up. Like
yeah, it just also just makes the play more tangible. I feel like it just makes you feel like again that she's there with you.
yeah, and
reading the play.
as an actor, that's really comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
as
agree.
a writer, I'm envious that I didn't think of it first.
As a
Especially-
director, it's just like, wow, you're giving so many. You're given a lot of choices.
yeah, as a director, it's like give it to me. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. But what I really, really, really liked is when she put like and then the thing that they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because that's a writing tool I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I've never seen like this. Like maybe I've seen something that's like talking about this, but that's so unique and it's really, really smart. And Lauren Gunderson, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna take that. I love it when playwrights are like giving room for subtext. And then I wrote down again, I love it when playwrights give room for subtext.
Yeah.
In a few other pages.
I mean, I don't know. Teenagers, there's so much subtext within teenagers, like in general. I mean, I've been a teenager before. I understand.
Hey.
I've got so much subtext going on.
We've been there.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and then we move on to scene 2.
Yeah.
And again, we start with Walt Whitman, because how can we start without him?
How can we start without him?
And this is like the actual poem they're working on. So it's pretty long, so bear with us. It's, I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look under your boot soles. You will hardly know who I am or what I mean. But I shall be good health to you nevertheless, and filter and fiber your blood. Failing to fetch me at first, keep encouraged. Missing me one place, search another. I stop somewhere waiting for you.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy and really beautiful.
And also, just to mention, too, this was written during the Civil War.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Walt Whitman, did he work at where did he work? At the hospitals or?
Yeah, I think it was the hospitals. Yeah.
Yeah, he would work at the hospitals during the Civil War, and he's like surrounded by all of this death and war and like rage, and he's like writing about it. And it's so interesting to me. Like,
and he only wrote the one book.
Yeah, he only ever wrote one book, but he kept adding on to it. So, and I think that was also part of the reasons why Caroline didn't want to at first, because part of Anthony's reasons for being her partner, he was like, I thought you'd understand, like talking about like death and everything stuff, because he thought she could relate to like being so close to death and everything.
And like being scared of it.
Yeah,
and
she's
then
like, well,
what are you talking about?
She's like, no, I don't want to talk about that. Like, why would you think that about me? You don't even know me.
Yeah.
But she does end up liking him.
She does end up liking him. It really shows like this is obviously a thing within real life, but it's like teenage boys have this tendency to sometimes make assumptions and then cross a boundary.
Yeah.
Not to speak for all teenage boys out there, but I was a teenage boy and I was low-key kind of stupid. I'm stupid now. And so this is something that like I saw and I was like, oh, he doesn't get her. You know, when I first read it, I was like, oh yeah, she'll be able to get it. And she was like, no. And as playwrights, we talk about writing the most interesting choice that a character could do.
Yeah.
And her responding that way, leaving so much more open, is so interesting and so great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, she could have been like, oh yeah, but she's like, no. I disagree with everything you just said. Like, why?
Yeah.
You know nothing about me. Why would I want to talk about dying? I deal with that enough in my own life.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like the relationship is like a bunch of hills, you know? And so it's like they're like riding a bike or something.
I also feel like it's a classic like boy-girl dynamic, which is why I think I'm glad like one of them's like a girl and one of them's a boy.
Yeah.
You know?
And when we talk about this play, it's Caroline's play.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, we haven't mentioned Anthony a lot, but because we've only really mentioned him in relation to Caroline.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's so much we could talk about Anthony, but both of us really agree that this is Caroline's play.
Yeah, she's the main character.
Like, this is about her, which is why we're talking about her a lot. So, but don't worry, we'll talk about Anthony.
Yeah. But, yeah, we'll definitely talk about Anthony. Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But
that was funny. Jinx. Where else? Oh, and then I also have a favorite quote from this one too, where Anthony like suggests that Walt Whitman is gay, and she's like, no, he only lusts for America. I was just like, that is so funny.
That's so funny.
And then it like gets kind of awkward too.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's really reflective of how teenagers interact with each other, especially when
Yeah.
one's a girl and one's a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so crazy. I think this is like, I think it's a great, I hate using the word pedagogy, but
Yeah.
the pedagogy of this play really talks about like coping mechanisms
Yeah.
when it comes
In
to
young
situations.
teenagers.
Because that's really, really important when they start talking about death, like when Anthony starts bringing up the boy
Yeah.
on the basketball court.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, I would love to talk about that. So a little bit about Anthony. Anthony plays basketball. And one afternoon, he's at a game. The game ended early because a kid fainted on the ground and died on the court, like within 2 minutes of fainting on the ground. And he talks about it a little bit, and then Caroline gets really, hey, are you okay, E? And again, Lauren writes like the most amazing choice where Anthony is kind of upset by this.
Yeah.
Because she spent all this time talking about how death is just a part of life and death is just this thing that we all go through and how it's not important, how we shouldn't talk about it. But then the second it affects Anthony, she wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Which he would reasonably get a little upset about because she kind of brushed everything off up until right now.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't want to talk about it because it happened in front of him. But also it's really interesting because Anthony doesn't want to talk about it. He's been talking about death this entire play, and then all of a sudden he doesn't want to talk about it. Which that is for reasons that we'll get to later. But Anthony is just, oh man.
Yeah.
I love him as a character.
He's honestly, because like he's also just so genuine.
Yeah.
There's nothing fake about him.
Yeah, he
to
does.
me.
And I really like how he has this part in scene 3 that they talk a lot about, where he has this monologue where he talks about he eats cold hot dogs often.
Oh my god.
And she's like, okay,
Typical boy.
I had 2 hot dogs right before this, actually.
Okay, all right.
That was my lunch. $1 at Sheetz, not sponsored, but hey, $1 for 2 hot dogs. Anyways, he talks about how he eats cold hot dogs and how he never flosses, and some other stuff that's like unflattering. And she's like, "You're being charming, like you're doing this on purpose." And then he's like, "Okay, well, I broke up with a girl first week into high school because there was another girl who I just thought was prettier than her."
Yes.
And the genuineness coming from him in that moment is so like real. Like he obviously feels so guilt-ridden about it that he's like still thinking about it, and he's thinking about it so much that he knows about the post on the Instagram that like Mandy and whatever her name was I told her not to, but then he says like I told her not to, but then Mandy posted on, I forget her name's wall, and then I broke up with her, and she was so embarrassed that she took down all of her social media for a week, the first week of school. It's brutal.
That's brutal.
He's like, and like he believes that he's not a good person from this.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say not a good person. I think he just thinks that he didn't make the greatest choice and that he's not perfect. Because Caroline keeps on calling him perfect. Like she's like, you have the perfect family. Like I bet your dad dresses up for Halloween and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I don't want to say the only section like that sequence is. I don't want to say that's the only section that we really get to know Anthony as a character, but there's so much going on with Caroline that it's kind of hard to not focus on her.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's, I feel like, one of the only moments that Anthony's really spotlighted. And we're kind of just like worried about how he's feeling. And then Caroline is like, well, that you acknowledging that it was bad, that's a good thing. And so you are like perfect, like you're great. Which is another really interesting choice, because she could have Caroline could have been like, that was really shitty. But it's telling him information that he already knows, which as playwrights we have to kind of stray away from. So yeah, I think Anthony is a really well-written character, and I think that sequence in particular is really, really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, all the names that they call each other.
My God, Dachshund.
Dachshund, Senator,
Poster Boy.
Poster Boy. Yeah,
Junior
it's
Cat Lady.
yeah.
Come on.
It's
Which is so interesting,
great.
where she says she's like a dog, but then she owns a cat.
Yeah,
Isn't that funny?
that's really.
I don't know.
Funny.
She has a cat, but then she's like a dachshund.
Like a dachshund.
I'm like, hey, you can be both, but I just thought that was interesting.
Also, of course, Anthony likes jazz.
Of course, he likes
Like,
jazz.
of course, he
It's,
likes
it's
jazz.
his niche little thing, guys.
It's his niche little thing. Every guy has one.
Like, let him have it.
Let him have it. But he likes jazz and he plays the saxophone. And when she's like, Grandma told me to stay away from guys with saxes, I was like, okay. Like I read that, I was like, all right, Caroline, like period.
It also like lets you realize like how like they're both kind of weird.
They're
You know?
they're weird, yeah.
But they're weird like matches each other. Like
Yeah.
they match each other's
They match
energy.
each other's freak.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. There we
I
go.
wasn't gonna say it, but he said it, guys.
I said it, guys. But she also talks about like sexting.
Oh, yes. She was. Didn't he ask him if he does that?
No,
Or no?
it was like so he was.
Or also the don't look up Walt Whitman's sexy sex on my computer.
so funny.
That moment was super funny because it's going back to the part where Anthony suggests that Walt Whitman is gay. And she was like, they didn't have that kind of sex back then. And then Anthony's like, dude, they invented that kind of sex. And she was like, no. And then I think they were like, let's Google it. And she was like, do not Google Walt Whitman's sexy sex on my computer.
Yeah.
That was
That was so funny.
funny.
I was laughing. And something else that I really liked was the sexting sequence. Oh, that sounds weird to say. When she's like where like Anthony's trying to get her to like show him her music.
Yeah.
Which like connecting through music. What a freaking tool, Lauren Gunderson. That was awesome. When he's like, okay, but just like don't go in the messages. And she's like, oh, so you're sexting someone, like frame one. And then I think she's kind of deflecting a little bit, like not like she's sexting someone, but kind of like she doesn't want to show that she's like jealous if he's texting another girl or something.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I just met this guy, you know, but obviously she has a little bit of a crush on him.
Yeah.
And yeah, being like, oh, you're Mr. Sexting or like whatever.
Oh my
It
God,
was really,
yes,
really funny.
that was funny.
And then the song she plays, Great Balls of Fire.
What a great song.
What a great song. What a great song.
And then Anthony automatically just having something to say, but he's like, you know, he stole that from black people, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's, yeah. Well, Anthony's song choice of Coltrane and like the sequences of like doing Falling in Love and everything, that was also really interesting, I think.
yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Great Balls of Fire. Wait, shit. Did
But
she
no.
actually- Oh, okay.
It was Great Balls of Fire Center.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, what a song to pick.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows how weird Caroline is again.
Yeah.
But also it just also shows out like how well thought out as a character she is too. You know, like Great Balls of Fire, Turtle, like the random picture she takes of Anthony and holds it as blackmail for him.
Yeah.
Like she tries to post it, but it won't post. Like there's so many like niche things that she does.
They
that-
do a lot of cute bickering back and forth.
It's a lot of cute bickering. So
Mhm.
also like if you're thinking like if you're a teacher and you like want to do a scene for your students, this would want any scene, like any section from this like play is such a great
Great
thing to do,
two-person.
especially for teenagers.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Like yeah.
Yeah, it's also
awesome.
great for like splash scenes and everything.
Yeah.
Like if you have a scene that you want everyone to work and then everyone to give their own perspectives on, it's really, really great.
Yeah.
Or if you have something for like a class where you're directing something and you need a scene, look at this play. It's
This
so
play
good.
is awesome.
Such a good play.
Yeah.
Do we want to put a spoiler warning here and talk about the nitty gritties of everything, or
Yes. Do we want to talk about New York a bit, or do you want to just keep going?
we could talk about New York? Yeah, New York.
Isn't it interesting that they both want to go?
They both want to go, but like for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know, and when he has her like imagining New York and everything through the song that he's playing.
Yeah.
Wow.
You get a lot of imagery in this play too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those moments.
Yeah, but wanting to go to New York, I mean, he even mentions it in scene 3 where he's like, you do not want to die. Like, you talk about going to New York and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, you can't do that. You can't say that you want
You
to die.
can't say these things and then say this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then this is near the end of scene 2 before we get into scene 3.
Mhm.
Like when they're playing Great Balls of Fire, like this is where you see Caroline's actually sick.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh, yeah. I
yeah.
wrote about this. Yeah.
like it says in the stage directions, during the final part of the song, Caroline starts to weaken, falter, cramp. Her body is stopping her from having fun. She hates
Mhm.
this, tries to power through it, gets weak quick. She stops singing, gets mad, gets sad, mad, mad.
Yeah.
Like the use of sad, mad, mad,
Mhm.
you get a lot from
You get a lot. Yeah.
It's like you understand how she's feeling just from those like words.
Yeah, and even before that, she starts to feel like a girl.
Yeah, like she feels like a real person,
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
this song, and then but then her body, she's like brought back to reality because her body can't take it.
Yeah. And I feel like starts to feel like a girl. I don't think that's like maybe she didn't feel like a girl. I think she maybe just felt like sick girl.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
now she feels like normal girl.
Just a normal, like a girl.
Yeah, like a girl.
Yeah.
And this is the part where you get to realize that she is sick, which leads us into scene 3.
Yeah. This is a little spoiler warning. If you are going to see a production of the show soon, or if you want to read it and not get spoiled, you can take a pause right here, and then you can come back and listen to the rest of it. But if you've already read the play or you've already seen the play, we're going to be talking about scene 3 right now, which has a lot of stuff. And we're going to be circling back to some things, some
we've
foreshadowing
left out a
things.
lot of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled, you want to go read the play yourself, put a little timeout right here and then go read it. Or if you're going to go see a production, pause here and then listen to the rest on your drive back home.
Yeah. And then before we actually get into it, there's more, like near the end of scene 2, where it's like, and then Caroline is on the floor bed. She's trying not to cry. She doesn't want to cry,
Yeah.
can't stop crying, frustrated, furious. Like she's feeling all these feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then she goes and hides under her bed.
Yeah.
Which is also typical girl.
So real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Anthony's trying to help. He's like, "Can I help?" And she's like, "No." And she's like, "Don't call my mom." Like there's so many it was just so teenage girl helplessness.
And then she says, "Get out." And then he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because
Scene 3.
Spoiler warning. He is her liver. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I knew how it ended.
Yeah. Well, because this is the second time we've read it.
Yeah.
First time I read it, I didn't know what happened. So, like, do you want to go through scene 3 and then we get to the part where, like, we realize?
I just wanted to say that. I was so, like,
yeah. And so then, like, eventually Caroline comes out and they kind of acknowledge it but don't acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, like, act like everything's fine. And then the fire alarm starts to go off. Or did it go off in scene 2?
It's been going off the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't go off in scene 2.
Yeah, I think it starts to go off in scene 3.
Yeah.
And like, and then they just start talking again, where she talks about her sickness. They kind of acknowledge it, and she's like, "Yeah, it's just something that happens to me." And then Anthony just switches the subject, and and then where else?
And then that whole like, how about your dad? Is he cool?
Yeah.
That happens. You really get to like know each person individually.
Yeah. And then you also learn in this scene too, Caroline's parents are separating.
Yeah.
Which is why the fire alarm isn't fixed.
Yeah.
Because her dad does it. And you also see like this guilt she feels because she feels like they're separating because of her.
Yeah. And she talks about it. She's like, it's not me, like myself. She says, I forget exactly what she says, but she says something like, it's the sickness. It's just too much for both of them to be on staff for or whatever.
Yeah. And there's also a few like other great lines too, again, where this is the part where Anthony talks about dumping his girlfriend and trying to prove to Caroline that he's not a good person. Like, and again, that goes back to always trying to subvert Caroline's expectations of him, which I thought was really interesting. And then his line, "One big lie is easier to keep than a bunch of small ones."
Yeah.
What a line.
What a line, especially from Anthony. And then she's like, and then the stage direction's like, she doesn't know how to feel about this.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Mm-mm.
And then it gets to a point where she gets to her monologue, and she's like, where they talk more about her again, and she's like, it's a monologue where she's talking about like, well, she's dark. She's
my
like,
mom says I'm dark.
Yeah, my mom says I'm dark, like humor wise, and she just doesn't have a positive outlook on stuff. And there's this one line, that really like, what is it? She like that really I'll just say the line where she says, I'm like, Mom, I'm naturally dark. And she hates that. She hates that. And I say, well, you're not the one who's going to die first. And that kind of stops the interaction.
And then he yells at her. Like,
yeah. And then this is like, you're not going to die. And like, he was like, you can't say this. Like, this is what Caleb was talking about earlier. Like, you can't say all this stuff about New York and then say you're going to die.
Yeah. This is the section that we took to ITS and everything.
Oh.
It started at the line, how about your dad? Is he cool? And then it ended with, I won't bail if you won't. And this scene, it really means a lot to me. It found me at like a very specific point in my life. So like going through it and reading it again, like I was just like getting that back and everything. And it's just really like he really cares about her.
Yeah,
like,
he's grown to care, like being stuck with her.
Yeah, and he doesn't want her to have this like negative view of herself. Like he's like, you don't want to die. Like don't say that, because he doesn't want her to die. He's keeping her alive, you know? And so like in doing this and being like, you don't want to die, like you don't want to, I don't want to feel like, I mean, for my packing personally, I felt like for Anthony, it was a responsibility to keep her alive. It was a thing that he just like had to do, and he had to remind her there are things worth living for. Like look at your pictures, look at the things that you do, look at Turtle, you know? Yeah. Like there's all these things, and it's like you can't just be okay with dying. And then she says that line at the end where it's like where she's like, I'm not afraid, and then he's like, why not? And she's like, what? And he says, why aren't you afraid? And then she's like, I don't know. And then he says something else. And then she's like, because I've had to live with it my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. And she said, and it doesn't win until I let it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she keeps going down on herself. She's like, Team Caroline fucking sucks.
Yeah. And then he's like, yeah.
Yeah, it does, but
I won't bail if you won't.
And then that's so sweet.
And then she cries into him.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really heartfelt, but it's also, again, it's so reflective of teenagers. Like, they'll yell at each other, but at the end of the day, like, if they care about one another, they'll be there.
Because, like, emotions are high. The character of Caroline has had to mature so rapidly because she has to understand that she's alone. And now she's with a teenage guy. Yeah. And she's also a teenager. And so, like, she gets to be a kid for the first time, like, ever, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part of the, and like where it like crescendos up until that point, and then it just like falls all down. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really, also sorry, I was really far away from the mic at that point. Okay. So sorry, guys, I have to practice. Yeah. But yeah, and then what happens? Oh, and then this is where, and then after this, it's like she tries to kiss him, but then stops herself.
Yeah, she wants to. So bad, but then she stops.
Yeah, and then
it's a high five.
Yep, and then it's a high five, and then they record part of the INU, not the INU, sorry.
The Walt Whitman.
The Walt Whitman for the project, and then she actually kisses his cheek.
Yeah.
And then it gets awkward.
Like, no.
And then he kisses her, and it's just such a sweet moment.
Yeah.
Like.
And she even wrote it like, he wants her to kiss her. She wants him to kiss her.
Yeah. Again, Lauren Gunderson's giving you so much to play with here.
So much to play with. And then he does.
Yeah.
And then he starts reading the prologue.
Oh, yeah. And then he does read. Yes. Though this is what you shall do.
Yeah. I'll read a little bit of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Anthony reads the prologue to Walt Whitman's book. I literally just had it, and then it disappeared. Here it is. This is what you shall do. Love the earth and the sun and the animals, despise riches, give alms to everyone that asks, stand up for the stupid and crazy, devote your income and labor to others, hate tyrants, argue not concerning God, have patience and indulgence towards the people, take off your hat to nothing known or unknown to any man or number of men. Go freely with powerful, uneducated persons and with the young and the mothers of the families. Read these I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at reading. Read these leaves in the open air every season and every year of your life. Re-examine all you have been told at school or church or in any book. Dismiss whatever insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem.
Remember, we started the play with this quote.
Yeah.
And your flesh shall be a
very great poem.
Or no, your very flesh shall be a great poem.
Your very flesh shall be a great poem. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
you know,
saddest sequence that has ever happened.
it begins because Caroline says, "Well, you'll come back tomorrow, right? And we can talk about how it went."
Mm-hmm. And
then he
and then he gets sad.
And then his demeanor changes completely.
Yeah,
he says, "Stop,"
mm-hmm.
because she doesn't, and she's like, "Stop what?" And then Anthony tells the truth.
Yeah,
it's not real.
It's not real. Everything that we've been talking about up until right now doesn't exist. It's not real.
Yeah, has not happened in real life, and the alarm keeps going off, and then it's revealed that the boy who died on the basketball court was Anthony.
Right?
First reading that, you're like, what?
Yeah. Like, I read it the first time, and I went, I
actually was kind of tuned in because my, and we'll talk about this question later, but
mm-hmm.
I knew something was going to happen in the end, but I didn't know what.
Yeah, like something, it can't end normally,
and he's like, one of Anthony's lines when he reveals the truth, he was like, "And the very last dizzying thing I thought was this stupid thing from lit class, I in this mystery. Here we stand." And Caroline's like coming to, and she's like, "Oh my God." And then Anthony's explaining to her what's happening, and she's just like having to come to terms with what's going on. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
It's so crazy. And she's like, "I don't want it to be over." And she, in the stage direction, she's like, she tries to say, "I love you," or "thank you," or "don't go," but it's all too huge to say.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a weight.
Yeah. And the beeps, the alarm beeps that have been going off from like the fire alarm chirps, it starts like getting more rapid, and it's revealed that it's actually her like heart monitor.
Yeah.
And like within a hospital and everything. And it kind of like the symbolism behind that, her hating her own heart.
Yeah.
And like her own heart beating, like she's not suicidal, but life has been nothing but pain, so she just like hates it, kind of.
Yeah.
So like she in like the stage direction is like, she goes, another beep. She goes to rip the damn thing off the wall, like she like is trying to rip out her own heart, like it's breaking right now.
Yeah.
Because Anthony isn't real, this person that we.
And she doesn't want to admit that.
Yeah, this person that we spent 93 pages with isn't real.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that absolutely insane?
And then, like, as the scene goes on, like, parts of the wall of her room start to go away.
Yeah.
Like, they start to vanish until there's nothing left. And, there's just, it says infinite blackness all around, and then the sound of her heartbeat all around her. And then Anthony, as he's leaving, he reads the Walt Whitman.
Yeah. And I, like, this whole, she's such a good writer. I was trying not to cry when I was reading this. Like, I just got, like, an overwhelming, like, sad. I was like, oh, my gosh.
Like, he's not... I think, and then also while he's reading Walt Whitman, you hear the songs from... that they mentioned before, like A Love Supreme, and then it goes to Great Balls of Fire, and then back to Coltrane. Like, it just really tells the journey of the three of them.
Yeah. It's written in the stage directions. During the poem, the final wall, the floor, the world of her room vanishes, falls, flies away, infinite blackness all around. Her breath is echoed, volumized all around her, the sound of her heartbeat all around her, the heart monitor all around her. He leaves her side. She barely lets him. Does he say the following lines live, or is some recorded to amplify or alter his transitions? Yeah. And then A Love Supreme, and then Great Balls of Fire, and then Love Supreme, A Soul's Journey.
Yeah, and then the last and final stage direction, which I thought was like, the imagery in this last sequence is insane.
Yeah.
It says he's about to leave forever. She runs to him full speed, wraps him in a hard, desperate hug. This is the culmination of everything. In an instant, he is gone and she is alone. Silence. Then a huge column of white light from directly above or behind her locks her in. She stops, looks up, and then for the very first time, we hear her mom.
Yeah. The whole time we didn't hear her mom.
Because that's where she was.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, and the end of the play.
The end of the play.
And isn't that amazing?
Isn't that amazing? The idea, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more. We're gonna talk about this a little bit more. But she she left like a section of like explaining all the symbolism and everything until after the play.
Yeah.
So your
Oh
first
my
time
gosh.
reading, like, you don't get it.
Yeah, that's why, again, but I think you should do this for all plays anyway. Read it more than once.
Read it more than
But
once.
this one, it's really clear it definitely needs to be read more than once.
Yeah.
Some people can get away with reading it once and be like, okay, fine. But this one you need to read twice.
You need to read twice.
And I don't know. It's just like one of the things I wrote during scene 3 is that Anthony is the poem.
Yeah.
Like, he is the poem, and he's reading all these things to her because she's about to become the poem.
Yeah. And the line, the very fiber of your blood.
Filter and fiber your blood.
That's what a liver does.
Yeah.
Dude.
Isn't that crazy?
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Oh my
I know.
gosh.
And so then that
dude.
just like, and then we can read. I think we need to read after the end because then we can go back to all the other things that were mentioned before.
Yeah. Do you just want to take turns reading each?
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, after the end of Futures, I and You is a play that I hope tells a few stories at once. Both the obvious story of two teenagers connecting with one another and the liminal story of a transplant recipient receiving a donor's organ are true. Here are a few other elements of the play that you might enjoy upon reflection. Thank you for coming on the journey.
Okay. We have 2 different versions of the play. Oh, wait, but here. Okay, never mind. Got it.
Yeah.
The simplest story is the most true. The simplest version of this story is that these 2 characters need each other. As classmates thrust together for a class project on Whitman, they need each other. As young adults articulating themselves anew, they need each other. As confidants revealing their desires and dreams, they need each other. As curious hearts open to a new kind of young love, they need each other. And then finally and most profoundly, as 2 bodies now becoming one, they need each other to live fully. To live in gratitude for each other each day, to stand with this mystery that is human connection, they need each other.
Yeah. And the entire play takes place while Caroline is under anesthesia during her transplant operation. In the realist reality of Caroline's life, the events of I and You are kind of a dream that she experiences during surgery. I like to think of it as a dream that she and Anthony are sharing while they are connected in the most vital and visceral way.
I know.
Yeah.
And she also says, this does not mean that the play is a lie, that Anthony isn't really present, or that their encounter is not real. It is very real, and he is very real.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most real thing she has ever experienced, and Anthony has changed her life forever.
Yeah. And then Caroline's room being a metaphor for her body.
Yeah.
She writes, after several drafts, I realized that the room which cradles our story is a metaphor for the body that, in the play's final reveal, Anthony and Caroline are fated to share. If that is true, then Anthony's first entrance is the biological entrance of his flesh to hers in the operating room. When she disrupts and rejects him in the first scene, it is a metaphor for her body initially rejecting the organ. When he starts to give up on her, and when he wants to leave her room later in the play, it is the liver resisting the body's biology. When they hold hands, kiss, and embrace at the end of the play, and the walls are taken away from them, the metaphor would encourage us to see it as an anatomical harmony of a successful transplant. And as Anthony, quoting Whitman, says in his last words to her, I shall be good health to you, nevertheless, and filter and fiber your blood, which is exactly what a liver does.
Isn't that crazy how nuanced this story is?
Crazy. And it's like, her saying it's like the events in the play happened. Like everything in the play has happened. I think that's really interesting because you can like be told about the metaphor of the body transplant and like the liver transplant and everything, and just assume that scene 1 just didn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
But the way I kind of interpreted it when I first read it was scene 1 does happen.
Yeah.
And then he goes away to the basketball game, and then see everything that happens from scene 2 onward is during anesthesia. That's how I interpreted it initially. And I think they did know each other maybe a little bit.
I think they went to the same school.
I think they went to the same school. I think like her name was on the list. But like you can take this one of 2 ways. As an actor, you can either choose to understand that none of this happened and it's all like fictional, and then just kind of take it from there, or you can take like the first half of scene 1 and be like, this part happened, anything from here and onward didn't happen.
I think,
which are both very nuanced takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think none of it happened. I think all this happened in surgery for her. I mean, there's even a section at the end notes where she says the future. I imagine Caroline growing up healthy and hungry for life, always feeling like she knows someone very important but not remembering whom. She misses someone she doesn't remember, like a grandparent she never got to meet. Throughout her life, she will experience a kind of deja vu when she hears Coltrane or reads Whitman. She will have a strange urge to visit New York City's Blue Note Jazz Club. She will linger over her turtle. She will laugh at Pop-Tarts. Perhaps there's even a photo on her cell phone that she doesn't remember taking of a boy she can't quite place.
Yeah.
And,
Dude.
like, this is actually the part of the play that made me really sad.
Yeah.
But also bittersweet because I lean more towards endings like this where Caroline doesn't remember Anthony.
Yeah.
Which is why I think none of it happened. Like, I think she knew who he was. He knew who she was, that kind of thing. But I don't think they ever met in real life.
Yeah.
From my interpretation.
I think it's a really interesting because we talk about within writing a lot. It was all a dream and how bad of an ending that is. But this is, I think, like one of the only ways you can really do it well.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, it's just so interesting. Like, she doesn't remember him. And I think that makes the story like more meaningful to people. Because, like, yeah, people can take, as an actor, you can take this and be like, oh, it wasn't a dream, therefore it's not real. And, like, for me as an actor, I feel like that separates me from the story.
Yeah.
Because this story is very much real.
Yeah.
Like, all of this that happened, it was real. And though Caroline doesn't remember it, those feelings for her are real.
They exist.
They
exist. They
exist.
continue with her.
And so that's why I interpret it as, like, they never met, but this was real. And I just, like, and once you read the play again, you start to see tidbits of this, like, come through, especially when you read the end note. When I was, like, whenever I read this when I was, like, a senior, I didn't read the end note. And therefore it wasn't as meaningful to me as when I read it now. Sorry, I think that was my phone for some reason. But yeah, it's so interesting. Like, especially when it's the fact that, like, Caroline's not the one reading Walt Whitman until the end. Like, Anthony is the one doing the Whitman. And that's because every part of Whitman he reads, it's either it's about him or it's about Caroline.
Yeah.
And, like, everything is intentional.
I and you.
Like, especially back to that line where I read out, I celebrate myself and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you.
Yeah.
Isn't that, like, I keep saying it, but isn't that crazy?
The liver, like the atoms within the liver.
He's giving himself over to her. Like, I literally wrote scene 2 was literally Anthony giving himself over to Caroline. Because that is literally what he's doing. And also, it's what biologically, if going off what Lauren says, it is literally.
It's what's happening.
It's what's happening.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Crazy.
Like, Caleb and I can go about this play for days.
We can go about this play for days. But when she was talking about, like, when he was talking about, I was like, you packed for this, like, you prepared for this. And she doesn't remember any of that in the dream because it doesn't matter. Because
also, that's, like, separate. Like, it didn't happen. It didn't happen to her.
It didn't happen. In the play, it didn't happen. Yeah. But, like, in like, the life that Caroline lives, it happened. Yeah. And she'll probably remember the getting ready and everything. And then not the dream. And then, waking up.
But, and this also leads to, like, the question that my acting teacher posed to me when she first introduced this play to me, where she asked me, like, after reading it, do you think the plot twist was necessary?
I think it absolutely is.
Like,
I think it's so necessary.
There's an argument that, like, this story could exist without the plot twist. And to an extent, I agree. If the point of the story was to just talk about two young kids meeting and, like, just learning to, like, connect with one another, but the whole, like, premise of the play is that Caroline is sick. Yeah. And so therefore I think the plot twist is necessary because that's needed to happen for her to be able to live and also to grow as a human being.
I feel like with, like, plays like these, it's like someone's got to die. Someone's got to die.
Well, and also something has to happen.
Something has to happen at the end that, like, changes one or both of them forever.
Because you're not supposed to start the play you're not supposed to end the play how you start.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, I don't think it would have, like, ended the way it started, especially with the culmination of their relationship, but it wouldn't have, like, grown as much as it needed to without this plot twist.
Because how do you end it without the plot twist? Do you, like...
Yeah, especially after, again, reading the end note, like, the whole purpose of her story was, like, it was her sickness. Yeah. Like, and there was but also just, like, human connection and things like that.
Because, like, you can end this, like, one or two ways. Like, Caroline doesn't get better and she dies, or Caroline magically gets better and then she starts going to school again. Those are the only two ways I can think of like this play ending without the
Yeah.
twist.
Like if it were to be a regular love story, then like what's the point of Caroline being sick?
Exactly.
You know, it could just
Yeah.
be like if she wasn't sick, then maybe.
Yeah.
I was like, then yeah.
If she wasn't sick and she just was like homeschooled, you
Yeah.
know, whatever. But, you know,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
Wasn't that great?
that's great. Yeah. So definitely check this play out if you want to
Yeah,
read it.
please read it. It's
Read it. It's
really
so good.
great.
And
Also, there's good monologues.
great monologues for both man and woman.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, do you want to talk about how we would produce it really quick?
Yeah. If I were to produce this play, I think I would. I think my main idea or thing that I'd be thinking about is the ending,
Yes.
revealing everything.
Yeah.
I think I want like her room to be not maximalist, but like
no.
have a lot of stuff in it. You know, like enough to where it feels.
She
like-
probably collects trinkets.
Yeah,
I
like,
think she's a
you're
trinket girl.
you're in a teenage girl's room. You
Yeah.
know, and I really think a lot of design element needs to be focused on that.
Yeah.
And I don't want I'm teetering between like the walls falling and like a large thud for each
Yeah.
beat happening, or the walls like lifting up individually. I like the idea of them falling and
I
like
think
the
I
thud.
like them, or like, I don't know, just like disappearing somehow.
Yeah,
know.
like
I don't
like
think
the
lift-
lights change.
Yeah,
and,
like somehow, like it all
yeah.
just turns black and like
Mhm.
it's just like all just on Caroline,
Yeah.
you know?
I think, yeah. Also emphasizing the give and take type of relationship that Anthony and Caroline have.
Yeah. This play does not work without their banter or
No,
bickering.
they need to have such good chemistry, and I
Yes.
think that's something to take into account when casting. I think when casting, having a chemistry read would
Yeah.
be very important. I think also anything that's like kind of like this should be pre-recorded, like towards the end, like her mom's voice and everything. I think that should be pre-recorded, and I think that should be.
Yeah, I think it should be pre-recorded too.
Yeah.
Another thing, yeah, I think she collects trinkets.
Mhm.
It definitely, again, she's not a girly girl,
Mm-mm.
but she does collect a lot of stuff. I think she crafts a lot. She's very artistic, especially with her photography.
Mhm.
Like I think she would own like a few cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that would be like somewhere throughout her room.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you're given so much as a director. Like
So
you can
much
play,
as a director. Yeah.
which leads us to
Which-
our rating.
Our ratings.
So I'll go over to one part of the bit because we're rating this in two different ways. So
Yeah.
Caleb and I are gonna rate every play we read as a writer, director, and actor, and so these ratings are more subjective to us. So we each have different criteria for how we're rating it. So for me, excuse my page flipping really quick. So for me as a writer, I'm more looking at the dialogue, relationships, the style of writing, and the realism of the play, and just like, basically how is it written? What kind of, like, do I like the style? Is it rooted in reality? Things like that. As an actor, again, I'm looking at the dialogue, relationships, how many choices I'm given as an actor to play with this character. Do I resonate with this character? Things like that. And then as a director, I'm again looking at the relationships, the realism, the set, and like the stage directions, and how tangible is it to have this play produced.
Mhm.
And so for me, I rated actually everything this time as an actor, writer, and director as a 9 out of 10. I do hold a lot of sentimental value to this play, so that also for me, I guess played a part in this rating. But again, this rating is subjective compared to the other rating that we're going to do, which Caleb's going to talk about, is the tier list.
Yes.
So,
But first, I'm going to give my ratings.
oh yes.
So as an actor, what I'm kind of looking for is like what's given to me. A lot of like the actor and director stuff is kind of based on how much is given to me within that role from the writer. For the actor, I'm looking for like, can I feel comfortable within this character? Like, would this be an enjoyable role to play? Would this be like an enjoyable piece to do and everything?
Does it challenge me?
Does it challenge me? Is it fun? You know?
Yeah.
As a writer, I'm looking for like style elements, like how unique is this writing style? How tangible is it? Like, is the writer with us? is it's just basically like how well written is it,
Yeah.
in my personal subjective opinion. And then as a director, I'm also looking at through like how much am I given? Is this like a production that I feel like I would have an easy time with? Would it challenge me? But would it challenge me in a good way or a bad way? All that stuff. As an actor, writer, director, I also gave it 9s all on the board.
Hey, look at us.
I think this is a really, really, really solid play. I think it's absolutely amazing as a reader or as a performance. Like the fact that like I started crying a little bit
Yeah.
when I was
It
reading
resonates.
it. It resonates really well. But onto the tier list system that we have. So we came up with the rating system, like rating each play. And I thought of a kind of tier list system, and we talked about it for a little bit, and we kind of came to a consensus that it'd be really cool to come up with a subjective and objective. So the tier list is from like an objective point of view. It's just like what we believe, and it can be changed.
Yes.
Because we felt like if we rated one play a 9 and then one play like a 6, it's automatically saying that play is better than that play,
Yeah.
which isn't always true. And I feel like having a fluid kind of objective standpoint, depending on what plays we're reading, kind of is good for that. So it goes from S, A, B, C, D, F, kind of like a standard tier list. S being like this play needs to be produced all the time. This play is amazing. Everybody should read this play. Everybody should do this play. Why isn't it on Broadway? If it's on Broadway, it should stay on Broadway forever. And A is like this is a great play. Like you should go see this play. It's great. It's really, really solid. B kind of being like it's a really solid play. It just it falls flat in a few areas. However, it's still overall a really, really solid play that we want to see. And then it just keeps on going down through C, D, and F. And we were kind of disagreeing before the
yes, we were.
podcast
Before we start recording.
Yeah. Because I was leaning more towards A tier. I think it's really great. I think it's really, really solid.
I will be honest, I did forget S existed. So I think that was affecting my disagreement with you.
I see.
But yeah, I actually was leaning more towards B, but high B on the line of A.
Yeah, I was leaning towards like low B on the line of B. I mean low A on the line of B.
Yeah. So honestly, I think I can put this in A because I think it's a great play, but me and Caleb also agree on this too. The play is a little outdated.
Yeah,
in some areas.
There's some mentions of Facebook and Instagramming it, which isn't at the fault of anybody.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Facebook is still pretty much used, I think, but it's just used by a different generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I would be comfortable putting this in A, but probably lower A.
Yeah, I think this is absolutely amazing. I'd say just like A, not A plus, not A minus. Like this is a 95.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also have something else.
Yes, we do.
As a portion on this podcast, this is Caroline's idea. We want to start doing playlists for it.
Yeah. So how it works is for every play we read, we're going to make a playlist. So I come up with 5 songs that I think are representative of the play, and then Caleb will come up with 5 songs that he thinks are representative of the play, and so that together makes 10 songs of the songs we think represent I and you. So you want to go first?
Yeah, my first song is "Goddess" by Leve.
Oh, I was actually thinking about putting a Leve song.
Right? Yeah. Because it's jazzy and it's also it talks a lot about like I'm not who you think I am and everything. And I think that's very crucial to the point of everything.
Next song, the first song I picked was "She's Always a Woman" by Billy Joel.
Mm-hmm.
I just like while she is not a girly girl, she's still a girl, young girl, and I think this song really, I don't know, explains that.
Yeah. For my second song, I put Marceline the Vampire by Steps.
This is also a good song.
Yeah. It's talking about like things like sink your teeth into my veins. I want to feel the way that you do. It's a lot about like relationship building and wanting to like experience what someone else has. And I feel like that's very reminiscent of Anthony.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. My next song is also a Billy Joel song.
Period.
It's Uptown Girl.
Yeah.
Because I just also feel like that's a song she would dance to. And also, again, Great Balls of Fire. Like, that is so up her alley, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. My third song is Happy Pills by Palmyra. It's a more Western kind of song, country kind of song, so bear with me. It talks a lot about it. It's like I can't sit still. My happy pills are wearing off. We're not there yet, but we're not quite finished.
Yeah.
It talks about like calling the people that you love and like reminding them that like you love them because you won't always get that chance.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very reminiscent of Caroline and everything.
Yeah. My third song I picked is Everything Works Out in the End by Codaline. And I
Don't know that one.
It's basically just talking about, like, again, what the title says, everything works out in the end. And obviously, like, I think I was more thinking about her future, too, and, like, how she's all right and that, like, she's healthy now and just things like that. But also for Anthony, like, even though he's dead, like, it... Sorry, Caleb's laughing at me because I was just like,
even though he's dead,
like, but like, I don't know, there was so much purpose to him dying, and like,
yeah,
it worked out in the end, like, even though that he passed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My fourth song is We Are Nowhere and It's Now by Bright Eyes. It's a song talking about like that. I was listening to it and I was kind of like, oh yeah, like, because the whole sequence happens nowhere, but it's also now. And it talks a lot about like antithesis, like if you hate the taste of wine, why do you drink it till you're blind? And it's just like that kind of stuff is like, well, if you're scared to die, why do you want to talk about death?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff that reminds me of their interactions.
Yeah, and then the next song I picked was Electric Love by, I think this is how you pronounce it, Bjorn's. I don't know. The O is like, there's a slash.
Bjorn.
Bjorn's. But yeah, that was for me the end of season 2 Scene 2. I apologize. Season 2. Scene 2 where it's said in the stage direction, this is the beginning of their love story. For me, I think that's like how, like, when they're going into a blackout, like, that's the song that plays. That's what I was envisioning.
Wow.
Yeah.
And my last song, Never Love an Anchor by the Crane Wives. It talks a lot about love, and especially young love, and leaving love behind. And it, like, there's a line in it that I was like, yeah, Anthony's the anchor. I should have understood that a ship could never love an anchor.
Yeah.
And so it's like she's going on without him, and the symbolism there is just like dragging, is like he is like the person who's the anchor is dragging the person who's the ship down. But I don't really think that's the case. I think the anchor was kind of left and it's stuck there.
Yeah.
Like Anthony's stuck and dead. And Caroline
gone.
will continue moving on into the horizon.
Yeah. And then my last one actually is Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z and Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
Just as an ode to New York, and like,
yeah,
they both want to go, and I think Caroline eventually will go.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like, I feel like she would play that song. She's the sentimental kind of gal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that kind of wraps up everything that we wanted to talk about.
We hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to, if you're listening to this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify, follow for more. We post every other week.
Yeah.
And
follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram at The Aside Pod. And also follow us on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars, please.
Yes, please.
And leave a comment on anything that you're curious about, or anything you want to know about. I mean, we don't really have a large base right now, so we'll definitely get to you.
Yeah.
And read I and You by Lauren Gunderson.
It's a great play.
Great play, absolutely amazing. And next week we're gonna be next episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking about
Ellie Mocenary by Lee Blessing.
Yes.
So get prepared for that.
Get prepared for that one. That one's gonna be really exciting. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you. We're really excited.
Okay, bye.
Bye.